Joe Kreiger, Wanda Scott Fishing Show. This is Joe and Wanda. Brought to you by Okie Bug.
Looking at the most accurate bait cast reel in the world. Quantum with Dynamag Cast Control System. Dynamag's 280-degree range of sensitivity lets you adjust for a wider range of lures, line weights, and wind conditions. And at the 1986 Bassmasters Classic, Quantum proved that for accuracy, dependability, and durability, there is a place. First, Quantum, the choice of serious fishermen.
When you've got the bug to go fishing, then go to the bug, Okie Bug. Northeastern Oklahoma's fishing tackle headquarters stocks everything for the angler and outdoorsman. Wanda and I check with the friendly folks there at Okie Bug to find out what's biting, what lakes, and what lures to use. And you can bet Okie Bug's got it all. Okie Bug, your fishing tackle headquarters.
The old expression, seeing is believing, is true only if you understand what you're seeing. The new Lowrance X5 liquid crystal graph will make you a believer. With 192 dots of vertical resolution, the X5 displays the sharpest picture ever produced by an LCG. Easy to read in bright sunlight, even through polarized sunglasses. With zoom bottom track, gray line, digital depth, temperature, speed, and distance log, 2 depth alarms, and so automatic it runs itself. The new X5, you'll see the difference.
Okay, let's go fishing now. This is a trip made recently, and we're going to fish in the rain. It's going to be a tough trip, isn't it, Wanda?
It's just our natural, usual thing. We went from the nice weather in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to sunny South Texas, and this is what we got into.
Right. Rain, wind, blue norther hit just about the time we got there. In fact, our guide, Bill Sheka, told us there wasn't any use even going out.
That's right. He
Those
said, well,
fish didn't bite when it's like that.
That's true.
And look here, one has proved him wrong already with a real nice, this is a trout.
Yes, this is a speckled trout.
These guys get all excited when you start catching these trout, don't they?
That's right. Neil McKinney from here in Tulsa, the Berkeley rep, was with us on this trip. In fact, he made all the arrangements, and he told me that someone just caught a 10-pound, 6-ounce or 10-pound, 8-ounce speckled trout down there.
Boy, that is a big one.
Yes.
I know they get so excited over these trout, they can't hardly stand it. And just look at this wind blowing and the rain blowing here. And we're on one of those shallow boats with no gunnels, no sides. If you're not careful, you'll fall in, won't you?
Step off. That's
right, look
true.
at there. The water's lapping right at your feet. There must be about 3 inches of clearance, and that's it.
Oh, well, of course, I'm sure it depends on how much weight's on there, but there's not very much clearance on it.
No.
That is true.
This boat will move in about 5 inches of water.
Yes, it goes up in the very shallow water. This is Bill Sheka, and he's the guide on this particular trip down there, and he does guide lots of folks down there.
He's supposed to be one of the best trout guides, redfish guides, on the whole coast.
Yes, and this handsome gentleman on the left-hand side here is Neil McKinney.
And Neil's your buddy.
Yes, he is. We're going to get a picture of Neil, other than his camouflage jacket, shortly, but Neil lives here in town and made all the arrangements for this trip.
These boys tell us that a speckled trout like this, a speck they call them, that is, say, around 6 pounds, is equivalent to about a 9-pound black bass. And that's why they get so excited over it.
That's true.
That's true.
That they get excited over it.
Yeah, they sure do. And look at there.
They still haven't quite convinced me
That's a
about this
redfish.
fish. Yes, this is a redfish.
See that big old spot on his tail? And these are fun to catch, too. They'll pull your string out
Yes,
and
they
bend your rod.
do. They sure do.
And we're catching these all on artificial lures.
Yes.
And this is a, what do you call it? A tout?
A tout tail.
Right. It's sort of like a shrimp, plastic shrimp tail.
Yes.
And you might notice one is bundled up pretty good with her fur hat and everything on here.
Well, don't have a fur hat on, but I wish I did. I did take my, did take a sock cap with me, which some folks didn't, and I appreciated it very much.
Some folks got cold down there too.
Yes, they
didn't
did.
Looked like Neil had a problem there.
A little bit.
You can have a problem down here.
Oh, very easily, very easily. Now the water is very, very shallow. We were up in the shallows inside the jetty, and this boat is ideal for that type of fishing. It's would not be too good on Texoma or someplace like that, but for this area, it's an excellent boat. But it's completely flat with nothing around it, and when I first looked at it, I thought, there's no way I'll not fall off that thing.
Look at that trout there. That's a big old speck.
Yes, that's a nice one.
And these guys are absolutely tickled beyond themselves. And of course, with Bill Sheka saying that they weren't going to bite at all with this kind of weather, he is really happy.
Yes, Bill told us that this was the worst weather he had ever fished in, and we told him he didn't know what bad weather was.
He didn't either.
Of course, this is it's just out of Corpus, and the weather usually is not as severe down there as it is up here. And we really didn't have all of our cold weather clothing with us, so it was a little uncomfortable.
And these are popping rods these boys are fishing with.
Yes.
And you just about chin yourself on the tips, can't you?
Well, not quite, but they're good Berkeley popping rods, and they're ideal for this kind of situation.
They're graphite, but they're pretty stiff.
Yes, they are.
And it takes a lot to make them bend. But these specks could pull down there and work on them pretty good.
Yes, they can.
Look at that one.
Nice
Isn't
fish.
that a beauty? They have a yellow mouth with quite a few teeth.
Yes, with teeth.
They're real good eating fish, too. In fact, a lot of people think they might be better than walleye.
Make good trout almondine and lots of other things. I think Neil caught that fish, and Bill brought him in for him. I mean,
Yeah, Bill does most
took
of the
care
landing
of
of
it.
them.
Yes.
There comes another one. This is the name of the game, catching these big old specks. And this is the time of the year when the big female specks come into the bay, and they get up in that real shallow water. And apparently most people are not aware of the fact that the big ones hardly ever eat shrimp. And most speck fishing is done with live shrimp. And what the deal is there, I'm not sure.
But Bill has decided that the little ones eat the shrimp and the big ones eat something bigger.
Right. But there's been some kind of a study conducted there by the wildlife people, and the contents of their stomachs on all the big fish never show up with any shrimp in them. It's only the little ones. And people that use the live shrimp and the popping corks and that sort of thing very seldom catch big ones. They catch little ones, pound and a half. Right?
I guess. I'm no expert on this. I've just been. We thought we were going to be using the hard plastic lures, but the tout tails are hard to beat, really.
Look here, they're going to let old Dad get in the action.
That's right. That, you may have noticed the platform back behind Joe in the boat is for, Bill gets up there, and when it's really up flat, he gets up there on that platform and poles the boat, and then he's up high enough that he can see the fish in the water.
You notice they turned my fish loose.
Wonder
They
why
have a
that
slot
was.
limit on them.
Was yours too big or too small?
I think he was too small. That's about my speed, isn't it? But you can see there's water for a long ways, and we're down in some big bay here.
Yes, we're back in the bay out of the wind. As I said, we went out of Corpus, and you can go back in this big bay, and I've forgotten the name of it. Baffin Bay?
Yes, Baffin Bay.
Baffin Bay.
And you might notice a big flounder on there. Wanda caught that flounder.
Yes, that was...
You're sort of proud of yourself on that, weren't you?
Well, I was until they started catching bigger ones. I thought that was a big flounder.
But this is the first day, and it rained all day. The wind was blowing, and look at this. This is a pretty good string of fish. These are all real nice fish. Big old specks, a flounder, and I think there's a redfish or two on there. And Bill was just absolutely tickled to death.
Yes, they had a big tournament down here the day before we came, and fishing conditions were pretty tough, and it was extremely windy, and cold and rainy. It was not a pleasant, sunshiny day, but we did catch fish, much to Bill's surprise.
But just one thing, you tell it like it is.
That's
When
right.
It's tough, it's tough.
This is
and,
the way it is.
It can be that way, and this old gal's not going to give up. She's going to keep that lure in the water and
Yep.
keep it chunking.
Yep. Doesn't always catch too many fish, but I never have caught one when it wasn't in the water.
And that's something else. We'll be right back and show you some more of that trip, the second day, in fact, right after these messages.
This is the finest utility anchor available today. It's a diamondback retrievable, self-releasing anchor. It's designed for quick release and retrieval if you hang it up. These two screws adjust the tension on the flukes, and a quick jerk on the rope releases, making it easy and simple to retrieve. You can say goodbye to those costly hang-ups forever with the Diamondback. It also comes in 3 sizes.
Hi, I'm Sheila with 5-Ash Boat Sales at 12204 East Admiral Place. And this is Mama 5-Ash, who's been Charger's #1 bass boat dealer for over 11 years. Charger has beauty and quality throughout the boat, powered by the awesome Yamaha outboard, the only motor with a 2-year limited warranty. The Yamaha is loop charged and prop rated with a true oil injection system for real outboard performance. So come on out and see us at 12204 East Admiral Place, where we service what we sell.
You asked for it, so here it is. Little Stinker. Now comes in 3 different flavors: chicken, blood, cheese, and our famous original. We also added 2 new hot colors to our lures, purple and crawdad. Many of the nation's top fishermen are using Little Stinker. Simply place the nozzle into the lure and squeeze. The bait goes into your lure, not on your hands. Whether you fish by day or night, Little Stinker cat catchers will add lots of fun and excitement to your next fishing trip. So go ahead and join in on the fun. Get your Little Stinker today.
You know, quiet's important when you're fishing. Now you can have quiet with 4 horsepower speed. It's the electric alternative, the Minn Kota 4 horsepower. Instead of pouring gas, pulling ropes, and putting up with fumes, you just turn the handle for clean, quiet power. Now, when you fish from a small boat, you have an alternative, the 4 horsepower electric from Minn Kota, with quiet power that catches fish.
And now we're back to our Texas fishing down in near Corpus Christi, and fishing with Bill
Sheka.
And Neil McKinney.
Right.
And this is the boat that we were talking about, and you can see why I was worried about stepping off of it or falling off of it.
I'm surprised they didn't have a safety belt for you up on that platform. Did you see?
See, it took me till the second day to get up there on that platform, but I found out that that really and truly is an ideal place to fish. Neil told me that's where he usually fishes.
This is the second day of our recent trip. I think this was 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
We were down here on this trip, and we hit, of course, a blue norther, which I didn't think possible. The weather was a lot better here in Tulsa than when we were down here.
Yes, it was. This is when it was so nice here, and in fact, when it got, shortly after this was when it got so hot.
And there's another nice, real nice trout. And you just can't hardly beat this kind of fishing. These guys really get steamed up over these trout, these big specks.
They're a lot of fun to catch. The redfish are too. The redfish really pull. They're a lot of fun.
You bet they are. And they're using a little old float now. They call a, what was it?
A little old float.
It made a noise though, a clicker.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
clicker.
was. There is a name for it, and I've forgotten what it was. But it does. It has a sound in it, and when you work the rod tip, it makes a noise, and they say it attracts the fish. I didn't quite understand this. Bill says that they're also very spooky, but we were using this thing that made a racket. So whatever works, works. I
Right.
guess.
And they come to see what that racket is, I guess. And look here, they'll jerk that rod out of your hand if you're not careful too, won't they?
This must be a redfish.
Looks like we have 2 on at the same time.
That's right.
And the cameraman's having an awful time. You have one of those clickers on yours.
That's what I said. You know, whatever works, works. So.
If you can't beat them, join them. Boy, that's for sure.
You bet. Looks like Bill has one on now. That's why we
Making Neil
keep,
McKinney work as a deckhand here.
right. That's why we keep you out of the fishing, isn't it?
Right.
You just keep catching fish, and you got the camera.
But these guys can really pull. and they are something else. And some of these specks go up to 7 pounds, and that is very, very unusual.
Well, the Texas state record is 10-something, and Neil told me that someone who, I believe it was someone who was fishing with Bill, or maybe it was Bill, caught one that was over 10 pounds. It just liked a little bit being the state record.
Mm-hmm. The state record on these fish is not nearly as big as the black bass records. These fish don't get nearly as big as black bass.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
I hope I've not put my foot in my mouth again and got this all confused, but I understand it was 10-something.
Okay. Looks like you caught a redfish, and they're going to measure him and see if he's big enough. They're the ones, well, he was. They put him in the box, didn't they?
Certainly. I don't catch those undersized ones. Right. The redfish cannot be over 30 inches also. They're not allowed to keep them larger than that.
Mm-hmm. And there's another pretty one.
Yes.
And it looks like it's quit raining finally.
Finally,
and
but it's not really hot out yet.
No.
Just
pretty cold. Those are heavy shirts, and they were really needed.
Yes.
But the name of the game is to get after those old fish down there, and that's exactly what you guys are doing. I mean, everybody's flailing that water to a foam.
Yes.
And on this second day, we went down this intercoastal canal about 75 miles.
A long way.
A long
way.
In fact, we missed our airplane coming home, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
We have nothing but trouble. Look here, Wanda's caught a big one. And smiles all over her. And look at that.
I enjoy them all, whatever.
You bet. That's a big speck. That's probably about a 6-pounder.
Don't think so.
You don't think so?
Don't think so. Bill is working that clicker float in the background. If you noticed, he's working with a little jerking action.
And look at there. There's a stranger.
Well, I thought he was. Maybe he's not. There's another flounder.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those things are good to eat.
Yes, they are. That one they decided was a little bit small.
Yes.
They're getting pretty choosy here now. But look here, he threw right back in the same place and caught another one. And look at this one. This one's a little bit bigger.
These are very unusual looking fish.
Yes, they are.
I asked Bill how you filleted them. And I never have found out how you fillet them.
But you know, this is sort of strange to me that catching these flounder, especially on artificial lures.
That's right.
But they'll jump all over it, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's caught another one right here. We got into a bunch of those
Caught
guys.
a bunch of them. That is a big one.
That is a big one there. And look at that rascal. And he thought he had him a real goodie when he jumped on that tout.
Right, and both, you might notice that both eyes are on the same side.
Mm-hmm. That tells he's a flounder.
But no, that tells he's a strange-looking fish. I think, is it halibut? Are they the same way?
Yes.
Only much, much larger.
Only I think their eyes are the other way.
Are they?
They have one on each side, but they look just like a
I tried
flounder.
to tell the boys that I'd heard that if they were caught in some areas it was on one side and some areas the other side, but I don't know. But they're unusual-looking fish.
Mm-hmm.
They do go after these fish up in these flats like this with a small pitchfork-like thing, too.
You know, it's hard to believe it. Just like right here, you can see we're out in the middle, supposedly, and you can step off in that water, and it's not over 6 inches deep.
Now, I stepped off in the water, and I didn't find any 6 inches deep.
You didn't?
I had the same problem that I've had before down here when they would assure me that the water was knee-deep.
Mm-hmm. There's a little silt sometimes on the bottom.
Yes. The water may have been knee-deep. I think it was the silt that was a foot deep.
Look here, one has one that's trying to get the rod away from her. And look at that swirl.
I got
That
brave.
count for anything?
Big swirl. I got brave enough to get up on the platform, and this really worked well because Neil would net my fish for me, and I could just sit up there and whirl around on that platform.
That looks like another redfish.
Yeah, I'm a red fisherman.
That's a pretty one.
Yes.
That's a good one.
But they all have this spot on the tail like that. So. And see my perch up there?
Yeah.
If I had really been mean, I should have just cast over everybody from up there. I
Right.
could have done it, couldn't
Looked like you had your legs wrapped around those corners, too, holding on.
Yeah, when I first got up there, I was hanging on with my feet wrapped around them, but then I got a little braver. Neil's got a good one on now.
I like this kind of action.
You bet.
Even though I'm just taking pictures, I'm having a lot of fun watching somebody doing something all the time. And this is why we have a longer show than normal. We caught a lot more fish.
I thought it's because you just didn't want to cut the film. It's easier to put together that way.
Right. Just no editing. We just stuck it together and let it go. Tell it like it is. If it's raining and bad, why, it's raining and bad.
Oh, that it was. That's true.
Yes, it was. And Bill Sheka, I guess, fishes all the time down here. And look here, Wanda's hooked another one out there.
It is a little hard to fight them when you're up there unless you have got your feet wrapped around something.
Especially when they go round and round and round and round and round. You're going to get down off there now.
Well, everybody's telling me that I need to get down and off there, but I'm determined I'm not going to. But
boy, looky there. That, look at that smile. That gal is really happy with herself there. That's another redfish.
Yes, this is another redfish. Like I said, I'm deadly on those redfish.
Makes you happy though, doesn't it?
Oh yes. I'm
all
happy to
count
catch
one
a
down
perch
there,
or what. You notice I didn't take a really heavy jacket, although this troweling jacket is pretty heavy. Bill Sheka thinks it's really heavy, but it's not one of our big downfill jackets. But I've got on everything under there I can
Look here
get
now.
on.
Here we've gotten up in that 6-inch water and we're hung up tight. And everybody leans over to the side, give it full throttle, make it in a circle, and boom, you put it on a plane and get out of there.
How come you weren't leaning over on the side?
I'd fall off that thing if I leaned over there. Look here we go again. We didn't quite make it that first time. See, I'm leaning a little bit there.
That's probably why we had to do it again.
Yeah. There we made it that time.
The plan of action was that I'd sit up on the front end of it,
yeah.
over on the side, and everybody else is on the leaning way over on the side.
Right. What
That
in the world
fish
do you
is
have this
running
time?
there to me almost faster than I can keep up with him.
Oh boy, look at that. Now you decided.
I have been assured, I was told this once before and swore I'd never do it, but I was told once before the water's only knee-deep, no problems at all. And I have on Bill Sheka's waders, thanks to his generosity, he loaned them to me. Now this is knee-deep water, folks.
You're sinking down and down like quicksand in it. The last time you did this was a catastrophe too, wasn't
Yes, it was. I haven't fallen yet. And I don't think I'm going to try this again.
It didn't take very long before Wanda lost interest in this altogether. Our 3 fishermen are all out there on this big mud flat.
Where there are no fish. They always assure me, you're going to catch a whole lot more fish if you get out there like this. And I have as yet to catch fish like this. I know they do. But,
They say that wave action on that boat spooks those fish.
So that's why I didn't understand why the clicker cork worked.
And look here comes Wanda back.
I found out, believe it or not, folks, I found out somebody had already been there, and I kept falling in the holes where they had been walking. It's not my suggested method of fishing, but it does work. They gave me a big long stringer. That's my stringer. I was going to fill that up.
You were going to fill that up, were you? Well, you need optimism if you're going to be a fisherman, that's for sure. But it didn't take her long to cure on that wading. She got back in that boat, and the heck with that business.
I just told Billy he's going to have to take me back because I was stuck.
We're doing pretty good out in the boat.
Yes.
If you'd have done better out there wading, I don't know what you'd have done with all the fish.
Every once in a while, I do something that I really know I don't have any business doing. No, most of the bottom down here is sand, and it's a hard sand bottom, they tell me, and it's not hard to wade in, but this was not that. I've never seen that kind.
But look at there, now that's a beautiful fish.
Yes, it is.
And they hit that bait and go with it too, don't they?
Yes, they do.
You need to be able to cast a long ways, and that's why they use those longer rods with 2 hands. And look at there, that's a big old speck. If I remember correctly, that was about a 7-pounder.
Real nice one. Sure is.
Doing great. And I'm just amazed. Every time you turned around, somebody had a big old fish.
Now there's a
redfish.
There is a big redfish.
You betcha. Remember how long he was?
30 inches.
Right. If he'd have been a quarter of an inch longer, it would have been illegal.
That's true. We measured him as best we could with the Berkeley ruler that we have here, but it didn't go 30 inches, and before we got through, I finally got out my little ruler to see how long it was, my little tape. And he was exactly 30 inches.
Looked like you've lost your hat and got another fish about to jerk you over backwards.
Yes.
And just having an awful time.
You'll notice I'm always very conscious of my appearance.
And look at there, there's another red fish. Amazing. And look at this string of fish. This was the second day. There's several specks on there that are over 6 pounds, and I think 2 over 7 pounds.
This is a very, very nice stringer of, well, it's both redfish and speckled
The biggest
trout.
redfish on there is about, I think, 12 pounds. But these people are happy as they can be, and Bill Sheka is delighted with himself.
Well, you bet. This is quite a string of, this is, we didn't have a complete limit, but we certainly had some very, very nice specks on here, as well as Neil's redfish.
More than you knew what to do with, that's for sure.
You just don't very often catch this size.
But that's quite a string. We'll be right back with a wrap-up, but once again, here's a special message.
Hey, hotshot, you still using that skinny trilene line?
You bet, I always do. Fish Trilene, Berkeley Trilene, America's extra strong premium fishing line.
Earl, we're gonna have to stop fooling with a trilene, boys. Shut up and feel.
Hi, I'm Bill Norman. There is no other buzzbait in the world like the Triple Wing Buzzbait by Bill Norman Lures. The Triple Wing Buzzbait is the #1 buzzbait. Why? It is easier to keep on top of the water. You can retrieve it slower. Keep it in the strike zone longer. It causes more water disturbance, which attracts more fish. It is made of metal, therefore it squeaks louder. So if you really want the very best buzzbait available, ask for Bill Norman's Triple Wing Buzzbait.
Jack Scott presents the Lifetime Warranty Battery. Make your car or light truck's next battery the Lifetime Warranty Battery from Jack Scott's Budget Auto Electric. It's just $79.95, and you'll never have to pay another penny for a battery as long as you own your vehicle. For details, call or stop by Budget Auto Electric, where you can count on quality in batteries, starters, alternators, and complete auto electrical service. Jack Scott's Budget Auto Electric, 15th and Harvard, home of the Lifetime Warranty Battery.
Local fishing is still excellent. The crappie are still up on the banks, and the black bass are up shallow right now. White bass are still running some, and you couldn't want it any better, could you?
That's right, so we're leaving.
So we're leaving, right. That's always that way. Fishing around the area, though, is excellent. Almost all the lakes are real good. And the main thing is that the big old crappie are still up in the willows, right up in the shallow water. They're hitting the little jigs, the little bitty, like little scoopers, the small little crankbaits, and it is excellent. Also, we're still getting good reports from down on the coast there at Corpus. Bill Sheka tells us the speck fishing and the red fishing is great. And if you like to fish in the coastal area, give him a call down at Corpus Christi, and I think he could arrange to take you on that. But really, now is the perfect time of the year. The temperature is just right. The birds are all singing. It's a perfect time to get out and just have a field day. Okay.
That's right. Go fishing.
Right. And we'll see you again next week. And in the meantime, we're going to go to Costa Rica and try to catch a big old tarpon. So bye-bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
The Joe Kreiger, Wanda Scott Fishing Show. Brought to you by Okie Bug.